So I've decided to make this on something I spent $1 on Amazon on my Kindle, and it's called "Defend Your Faith Against Atheism" by Rod. Uh, I can't pronounce it. I think it's Espinosa, Espinosa. I know I'm butchering that name, but um, so I'm just going to cover the 3 points. And this literally, when I read it, I mean, it's the best dollar on a book. It's not even a book. It's more like 2 or 3 pages, maybe five at most, because a Kindle doesn't actually do it by pages, but by section point or whatever the hell. I don't know how it calculates it. I just call it by percent. And one page turns like 23% or something. So it's only like a couple of pages, but whatever. Um, Off of that note. Uh, the first one is, which it has things under the subsection, but it says resist the urge to prove God's existence. The important first step is to resist the urge to prove God's existence. Just resist it. Don't even try to explain why current science proves the earth is 6,000 years old, because it isn't. You will make a fool of yourself and reinforce bad stereotype the rest of us have to live with. Most of us have really quietly moved on from these types of debates. Then it goes on to say basically that your faith is your reason for believing, which is, well, no, it says that, yes, it says that your faith is your reason for believing, and and to that I have to say that that's not a reason for believing anything. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I mean, holding faith in something is a lot like saying I have no reason to believe this, but I believe it anyway. Um, so what you're saying by saying I have faith in something is fundamentally saying I have no I have no reason to believe this. And what kills me is when it says defend your faith against atheism. Then it goes on to say God, but when you say faith, faith is a different thing than God. You can have faith in lots of things, none of them be God at all. Uh, so my main point or problem with this is that defending your faith against something, why does that automatically pertain to God? It shouldn't. Um, but being as that's what the book is clearly about, uh, well, I suppose against atheism, then again, in the title, whatever. Um, it's still it's stupid and presumptuous. Another thing is that the whole problem that atheists have with religion is that one cannot prove what they say. So to say you're not defending anything. You're simply saying, um, I'm going to plug my ears and stop listening to you. That's pretty much what that first section says to me after having read it, because you say, and then the two is actually faith is an experience. Um, Faith is an experience, not a set of facts or conditions that can be replicated in a controlled environment. And then they proceed to go on and give examples. Have you ever felt the love of a child in your heart? Have you ever bungee jumped? Have you ever walked on fiery coals? These are not scientific facts to be verified or studied in a lab. Actually, this is quite the opposite. It's called psychology. They could fundamentally hook things up to your head and show that everybody pretty much feels the same way. Then put you in a room where, like the Nuremberg rallies, hook the same sort of device up to someone's head and watch them get as riled up as somebody who's in some sort of church or something, and you would see the exact same effects. It is testable. That's the problem, and the fact that it is an experience doesn't make it a valid experience. Doesn't make it real. It just means you felt something. Feeling something versus there being something are two completely different things. Something this book seems to confuse. Um, and then it says, all right, for real science under the same heading. The universe is vast as we all know. Atheists base their belief on the absence of God. Actually, atheists depends on the atheist. There are weak atheists and strong atheists. So if you're going to say that the weak atheists do base their or the strong atheists base their belief on God, or the base their belief on a lack of God, then yes, you're correct. However, about 99%, a good portion of all atheists are weak atheists. And once most atheists understand the difference between strong atheism and weak atheism, they will say, "Oh, my fault. I really am a weak atheist." Even if they say, I believe there is no God," most of them will say that they were wrong about that, as I have found. Though their limited knowledge and experience on earth, atheists base their belief on the absence of God through their limited knowledge and experience on Earth. When you see that Earth is only one planet in 8, and that our solar system is one of thousands, and our galaxy is one of millions in a galactic cluster, and then a galactic cluster is one in millions of a supercluster, and on it goes. Can you honestly look at all of that and base your knowledge on only one planet and say there's definitely 99% sure that there is no God? Aren't atheists basing their knowledge on just what they know about a tiny fraction of the Earth? It's like saying, I know 0.01% of the Earth and everything in it, and 0% about the rest of the vast universe. Yet I am 99% certain. I am 99% sure there are no other intelligent life or spirits out there. I don't know how life or spirits got mixed, intelligent life or spirits got mixed up into that, because from my understanding, atheism is a lack of belief in God, not the lack in belief in alien life forms. Not to mention the fact that while we may know 0.01% of everything, I think that would be a hopeful guess. That doesn't mean that we can only speak within our realm of knowledge. What you're saying is that I don't know anything, therefore there has to be a God. There's so much, so that means there could possibly be a God, therefore I believe. No, you don't have a reason there. That's completely stupid and insignificant. At least, I can say I base the things I do believe on fact. That's what I'm getting at. 3. The tree is known by its fruit. Just like you have to remember to resist convincing people of the existence of God, you must just live your life in as much faith and love as you can. Oh, and there's another thing. It just kind of ends there with a Bible. Wait, it just says there's no need to quote Bible passages, but there is another section I would like to talk about in this book that says that the reason that people are atheists is because they've had a bad experience with either faith or churches, and that they just need to continue to, keep going to church, and then they'll eventually find, a church that matches them. But what happens is they go through a bad experience, kind of like going to a party, which is actually the example it gives of going to several parties, not liking any of them, therefore saying all parties are bad. Well, what I had to say to this is that doesn't make any sense to me. For one, everybody knows there's different kind of parties, and I have a question. I pose a question to the writer of this. Have you gone to, say, I don't know, a sermon about the flying spaghetti monster, and you didn't like the first one, that's why you don't believe it? Or how about Wotan, the same thing there. No, you base your beliefs on the fact that you were raised with them, not an appeal to authority, essentially. That's why you believe them, and you don't have the balls or the gall to go and see why somebody doesn't believe. You just want to excuse yourself. So my question is, why have you gone to other churches to know that you don't believe, and you've gone enough? Because based on this argument, you could fundamentally say I've gone to 1,000 churches, but if I would have went to 1,001, and then I went to 1,001. Well, it should have been 1,002. It should have been 1,003. It's really unimportant. That's not why people don't believe in God. It may be why some people don't go to church. Yes, this is the case, but it's definitely not why people don't believe in God.